Hey, how's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be reacting to Yasuo, the Unforgiven. Now, we haven't reacted to Yone either, and obviously Yasuo and Yone are kind of like the biggest names that you can kind of think of when it comes to League of Legends, and I haven't reacted to them yet. So I'm pretty excited to get into this. I don't think we've really reacted to any other Ionians either, so this is going to be kind of a deep dive into Ionia, and then as well as Yasuo and Yone. So let's go ahead and dive into his League of Legends universe page first, and then of course we're going to do like the voice lines, and we're going to do any trailers. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff for Yasuo, so we're gonna make sure to try to dive in real deep here and just find everything we can about Yasuo. All right, the quote here says, "Death is like the wind, always by my side." Now I know he has like some sort of wind technique or something, right? I don't know fully everything about that, but we'll obviously dive into that. We have role is fighter, region is Ionia, that makes sense, and then related champions Yone, which I know is his brother, and Talia and Riven. Talia has always interested me a little bit because she doesn't seem like she's like any other characters in League of Legends lore, but she's also like pretty powerful on the scale of power levels, yeah. Okay, anyways, here, let's see. It says, an Ionian of deep resolve, Yasuo is an agile swordsman who wields the air itself against his enemies. As a proud young man, he was falsely accused of murdering his master. Unable to prove his innocence, he was forced to slay his own brother in self-defense. In time, his master's true killer was revealed, and his brother mysteriously returned from death. Yet Yasuo still could not forgive himself for all he had done. Now he wanders the world with only the wind to guide his blade. This reminds me a little bit of, I think it's been compared to, by the way. So for you Blizzard Overwatch people, this reminds me a little bit of Hanzo and Genji. A little bit of the same story in the sense that Hanzo thought he killed his brother Genji, but Genji's not actually dead. He kind of comes back and he's like all cybernetic and stuff, right? And it's kind of like, I don't fully know Yone's story. I know there's some like demon or something involved or something with him returning. Maybe we'll read about it here in the biography. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right, everybody, here we go. Let's see. As a child, Yasuo often believed what the others in his village said of him. On the best days, his very existence was an error in judgment. On the worst, he was a mistake that could never be undone. Like most pain, there was some truth to it. His mother was a widow, already raising a young son, when the man who would be Yasuo's father blew into her life like an autumn wind. And just like that lonely season, he was gone again before the blanket of Ionian winter settled over the small family. Wow. Even though Yasuo's older half-brother, Yone, was everything Yasuo was not. Okay, so he's a half-brother. I did not know that. Respectful, cautious, conscientious, the two were inseparable. Yeah, aren't they like, they're like kind of opposites in mindsets a little bit? When other children teased Yasuo, Yone was there to defend him, but what Yasuo lacked in patience, he made up for in determination. When Yone began his apprenticeship at the village's renowned sword school, a young Yasuo followed, waiting outside in the monsoon rain until the teachers relented and opened the gates. So we have Yone, who's the patient one, and we have Yasuo, who's the determined one, okay? Much to the annoyance of his new peers, Yasuo showed natural talent and became the only student to catch the attention of Elder Suma, last master of the legendary wind technique. Okay, so this is going to be their master that dies. The old man saw Yasuo's potential, but the impulsive pupil refused his tutelage, remaining unbridled like a whirlwind. Yone pleaded with his brother to set aside his arrogance, gifting him a maple seed, the school's highest lesson in humility. The next morning, Yasuo accepted the position as Suma's apprentice and personal bodyguard. Okay, yeah, I'm already loving this story that I feel like is developing here. So Yone's like the older half-brother who's supposed to be like the more wise one. And obviously, this is going to be a story, I feel like, where Yasuo learns from his older brother, even though he has to end up... We'll see. I don't know. I'm a little worried what we're getting into here, though. When word of the Noxian invasion reached the school, some were inspired by the great stand that had been taken at the Placidium of Navori, and soon the village was bled of the able-bodied. Yasuo longed to add his sword to the cause, but even as his classmates and brother left to fight, he was ordered to remain and protect the elders. Of course, like, the younger guy wants to go there and fight, right? The invasion became a war. Finally, one rain-slicked night, the drums of a Noxian march could be heard in the next valley over. Yasuo abandoned his post, foolishly believing he could turn the tide. Oh no, and this is where his master dies. But he found no battle, only a raw grave for hundreds of Noxian and Ionian corpses. Something terrible and unnatural had happened here, something that no single blade could have stopped. The land itself seemed tainted by it. Sobered, Yasuo returned to the school the next day, only to be surrounded by the remaining students, their swords drawn. Elder Suma was dead, and Yasuo found himself accused not only of dereliction but of murder. He realized the true killer would go unpunished if he did not act quickly, so he fought his way free, though he knew this would all but confirm his apparent guilt. Oh, yeah, that's so... That sucks. I don't I mean, he was trying to help, and in trying to help with this war that was going on in their country, he becomes accused of murder. Like, you know what I mean? What do you do in that situation? Now, a fugitive in war-torn Ionia, Yasuo sought any clue that might lead him to the murderer. All the while, he was hunted by his former allies, continually forced to fight or die. This was a price he was willing to pay until he was tracked down by the one he dreaded most, his own brother Yone. Bound by honor, they circled each other. When their swords finally met, Yasuo's wind magic overcame Yone's dual blades, and with a single flash of steel, the outcast cut his brother down. Oof. Wow, okay. To have to kill your half-brother like that because you're just trying to prove your innocence is I mean, that's trauma, right? He begged forgiveness, but Yone's dying words were of the wind techniques responsible for Elder Suma's death, and that his brother was the only one who could have known them. Oh, yeah, okay. I recall this, I think, in a Necrit video. Yeah, so that's why everybody thought it was Yasuo, because the wind technique was the thing that killed Elder Suma. Then he fell silent, passing on before he could grant any absolution. Without master or brother, Yasuo roamed the mountains distraught, drinking away the pain of war and loss, a sword without a sheath. There in the snow, he met Talia, a young Shuriman stone mage who had fled the Noxian military. Okay, we don't know her story yet, but I've shown interest in her story because, again, I think she's like kind of different than every other character. In her, Yasuo saw an unlikely student, and in himself, an even more unlikely teacher. He trained her in the ways of elemental magic, wind-shaping stone, embracing at last the teachings of Elder Suma. Oh, okay, so Yasuo teaches Talia. That's pretty cool. The world changed with rumors of a risen Shuriman god emperor. Yasuo and Talia parted ways, though he gifted her the treasured maple seed. Its lesson now learned. As she returned to her native desert sands, Yasuo set out for his own village, determined to put right his mistakes and find his old master's true killer. Yeah, so he's looking for the killer that killed his master and like made him kill his own half-brother, right? So obviously this is obviously his whole goal for his life right now. There's nothing else Yasuo cares about. Within the stone walls of the council hall, Elder Suma's death was revealed to have been an accident. What? One brought about by the Noxian exile known as Riven. Oh, Riven? Wait, Riven? And one for which she felt deep remorse. She didn't even mean to, oh my god. We haven't reacted to Riven yet, but I had no idea that like Riven killed Elder Suma by accident, and which led to Yasuo killing Yone. That's crazy. Okay, even so, Yasuo still could not absolve himself of the choice he had made to abandon his master, or worse yet, how that choice had ultimately led to Yone's death. Right. Yasuo eventually journeyed to the Spirit Blossom Festival in Waylay, though he held little hope that its healing rituals would ease his heart. It was there he encountered a demonic creature that sought to devour him, an Azakana that fed on his pain and regret. Oh, wow. I think we've reacted to the cinematic that they're mentioning here, or the describing here, but we'll probably watch it again. Yet a masked intruder intervened, striking down the creature with righteous fury, and Yasuo realized he knew this man. It was Yone. Fully expecting his brother to take vengeance, Yasuo was surprised when Yone let him go with little more than a bitter blessing. With nothing left for him in the First Lands, Yasuo has embarked on a new adventure, though he knows not where it will lead. His sense of guilt, the only thing weighing down the free wind. Okay, I think that at the end of that cinematic, it shows him on a boat with somebody. I don't know who it is. There's somebody on a boat. We'll react to it and watch it again. But I think he's going to Bilgewater or something at the end of that video. So, okay, this makes the Yasuo story very clear. Obviously, we're going to react to Yone. That's going to be in a whole nother video, though. But, okay, so here's the story. I mean, straight up, Riven. I mean, we can kind of just say Riven started all this. With we don't know the full story there of how she accidentally killed Elder Suma. Maybe that's in her biography or whatever. Her story is probably kind of crazy too, and it caused all this nonsense with Yasuo having to kill Yone. I mean, I guess Talia gets trained by Yasuo because of this too, because he's on the run or looking for the killer. Very cool story. And again, it's very similar to the Hanzo Genji story from Blizzard. Not exactly the same, but that's what I'm able to like compare it to or relate to in terms of how the story's written here. Let's go into the story, though. I wonder what the story is going to be about. Called Brotherhood. Okay. Source of a crying boy is a boy, 6, maybe 7 summers. He sits cross-legged with his back to me in front of a tall sapwood. The weeping settles into sniffling, wet hiccups. I stop at the edge of the trees and look back at the shade of the road below. The midday sun is merciless, streaming bright into the boy's meadow. He doesn't seem hurt. The clearing is open, unprotected. You're not needed. Keep to your path. The voice rings clear in my head, though I haven't heard it spoken aloud for some time. I turn, but about face at the sound of a deep, racking sigh, ending in renewed little sobs. When I'm about 3 sword lengths away, I step on a dry twig to announce my arrival. The boy starts at the sound. Tio, I'm sorry, I didn't mean... The boy's rushed apology is muffled by the swipe of his sleeve across his face. He stops dead at the sight of me. He retreats so quickly that his back thuds against the tree. I paid the Brotherhood, he stammers. I wasn't playing on the road. At the mention of the group, my hand goes to my blade. The boy stares at me. His crying gives over to a series of shallow gasps. Of course, he thinks I'm some Navori thief coming to take something from him. He thinks you're a criminal. I release my grip, trying to appear more friendly. No, I'm not with the Brotherhood, I say. I heard someone from the road. Sounded like they were having a tough time. The boy wipes his wet cheek with his sleeve again, trying to save face in front of the stranger standing before him. Know anyone like that? I ask. The boy starts to shake his head slowly, but the truth tumbles out of him. It was me, he admits, shame roughing his voice. I just wanted to play with it. He points up. There among the tree's uppermost branches is an old festival kite, its silk tails fluttering in the light breeze. It's Teo's. His eyes start to water again. He shows me the palm of his hands, covered in sap, darkened with dirt and bark. I tried climbing the tree, but it's too tall. Teo's going to be so angry with me, he told me not to. Is this a story of Yasuo getting a kite out of a tree for a little boy that reminds him of him and his little him and Yone as kids? Is that what it is? A moment passes between us. Brothers often say that, I murmur. There's a small pile of broken soil in front of the boy. I kneel, wiping away the top layer to reveal a newly sprouted sapwood nut. My MI is a wood weaver, I'm learning, I thought. The boy hangs his head, embarrassed at the idea that wood weaving even a sapling would take far longer than an afternoon. I keep the smile from my lips, an admirable effort. The boy's gaze lingers on the fluted edges of my pauldron. That pattern isn't from our village, he says, caution edging into his voice, or the village in the next valley. I'm on my way to Waylay, I reply. I was making good time on the Noxian road. Even if the stone is a bit hard on the feet, I try to smile with my thought that Noxus could leave us anything of value. I know it comes off a grimace. Can you help me? He asks. I look up at the kite, sitting delicately in the high branches. It's been a while since I've climbed a tree, kid. That's funny. Joab, he says. My name is Joab. I offer him my hand, my own name hesitant on the tip of my tongue. It's been too long since I've said it with anything but shame. He probably shouldn't if he's like running from people trying to kill him, right? Come on, you've been called worse. Yasuo, I say, and I pull him up from the ground. I step from the shade of the tree and back into the sunlight of a clearing to get a better view. The day is hot and still. I close my eyes to feel the tiny currents of air lingering at the edges of the meadow. A small breeze picks up, pushing the wisps of hair from my face. I wish I could just blow it down. Wood weaving is useless, Joab mutters, frowning from the kite to his sapwood seat. There was an elder once who could move the wind, but he's dead, and his student could too. But MI says he's dangerous, that he killed the elder. Yep, the kid knows about Yasuo. I reach for the blade at my side. As I draw the weapon, I focus the magic. Eddies of wind swirl around it, gathering in tighter and tighter whirls. Dust and dead leaves dance on the blade until I shape the whirlwind to my liking, then release it with a flick of my wrist. The invisible force hits the tree dead on, the trunk shuddering with the impact. The branches shake as if some unseen spirit rises through them, finally reaching the kite. The colorful silk lifts off gently as the air returns to the sky above and drifts slowly into my outstretched hand. The boy's mouth hangs open a bit, but he closes it quickly. The fear is back. You, he asks, the elder student? All of Ionia knows what you are. Joab looks to the forest road, maybe for someone to come hunting for me. Did you escape, he whispers, but I shake my head. Did they let you go then? I mean, were you pardoned? I can't be forgiven for a crime I didn't commit. It's just a technicality, but I say it before the voice in my head can. But you killed the others. That's actually true. I take a deep, steadying breath, concentrating on the cool breeze at my back and the kite in my hand to keep the memories at bay. Joab chews on his own thoughts for a moment. Just as his mouth opens for another question, a glint of metal emerging from the forest catches the sun. I raise my blade in anticipation, only to find a slightly older mirror of Joab carrying a small farming tool attached to a long rope. I lower my weapon quickly, but too late. Fear and wariness settle into the meadow. Too fast to react, too slow to stop. Oh, it's his older brother, right, Teo? Never enough for him. It's my whole life in a miniature. Joab's brother watches us. He does not leave the safety of the forest edge. Joab, the older boy calls out. Joab runs over obediently, but stops when he sees the tool and the rope. I pull on the light breeze, straining to hear. What's that for, Teo? Joab asks, realization turning to anger. You knew I would take the kite. I shake my head. Of course he knew. Big brothers always know what little brothers will do. That's true. Yeah, always the exact opposite of whatever I tell you, Joab, the older boy says, still watching me. Who's that? Joab glances back, then leans over and whispers in his brother's ear. Teo's eyes grow wide for a moment, then relax into a dismissive scowl. Mi says it's time to eat, Teo says as he turns to leave. Joab pulls on his arm, trying to slow him down. He whispers again in Teo's ear. I try to quiet the wind that carries the next words to stop listening, but it's too late. No, he can't come, Teo says. He's Shiri? I don't know how to say that. Shiri. The word catches in my throat as the wind finally stills around me. Shiri is something unwanted, a misfortune brought by outsiders or greed, a little pest that follows big brothers around. The sun beats down, heating the blade at my side. It's a word I've heard all my life. You're not needed. Keep to your path. I steel myself and walk to the brothers. Listen to him, kid, I say, handing the precious silk bundle to Joab. Brothers know best. Before either of them can answer, I walk on, returning to the road ahead. I actually really like this. This story obviously makes Yasuo think of his brother Yone and just, you know, how his big brother and them got along, right? And how his big brother defended him. Yone defended him. And how his brother probably knew best, right? But because of the tragedy that happened with Elder Suma and everything, you know, the unfortunate circumstance that Yasuo's in, he still loves his brother Yone, and you know what I mean. It's very like it's a very good story about just brotherhood, which is obviously the title of the story, which is very funny. I really enjoyed all of this. I think the biography told us a lot. I didn't know like any of that, by the way, guys. It's very funny. I've reacted to a bunch of League of Legends characters so far, not Yasuo or Yone. Which I feel like are some of the most, like, you know, if I were to ask some random person out on the street, like, what was the first character to come to mind for League of Legends? It'd probably be Yasuo, or, you know what I mean? I don't know. It'd be one of the top 10 at least, right? For sure. So I'm glad we're getting into this character. I'm glad we're getting into this story. We're going to do some voice lines. We're going to do some cinematics here. I don't know exactly everything. I'm sure there's some Legends of Runeterra stuff as well we can check out, so we will be doing that. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the reaction, okay? All right, everybody. I know a lot of people have reacted to this video just alone and uploaded that to YouTube, but I'm going to include it in my Yasuo thing here. Now, again, I've reacted to this before because I did react to like all of the League of Legends cinematics, like part 1 through 8, a couple months back. But I don't remember everything, and now that I have a little bit more of an understanding of Yasuo and a little bit of Yone, it's a little bit better to rewatch this, and then I'm obviously going to be able to catch more things and things like that. So let's go ahead and dive into it. It is 10 minutes long, but I would love to dig deeper into this and understand it better now. Because I watched this without knowing a single thing.
Answer for what you have done. Yone, turn back. You have dishonored us. You swore to protect him. You swore to protect Ionia. Look around you, brother. Your honor stains the ground.
Okay. This is the Noxian war has like ravaged the area, right? And then this is obviously the whole Yone thinking Yasuo killed their master.
Better than living without it.
This is very cool to see animated. Oh, wow. He broke Yasuo's sword? Whoa, that blade looks sick.
Brother, I will not fail you again.
Whoa, that was really cool. The rain makes this so much more epic. Oh, whoa, the different animation style. Makes sense. He's having nightmares about it. Reflecting. He's reflecting on his past right there. Yep, 100%. Wow. And I mean, obviously he cared for his brother, and it's such a tragic story that he had to fight somebody that he loved. You know what I mean? So.
Apologies, Opa. I didn't mean it.
It's all
Who's the voice actor for Yasuo? He sounds familiar.
Spirits wait for no one.
No, I'm not.
looking to
I'm sure he's done voices for a lot of other games.
Why else would the great Yasuo come?
Now I know this little guy is the bad person. I do remember that.
Does that matter? I'll never make it up there in time.
True, the road is long. Perhaps my own temple can still provide a way. The choice is yours.
You can kind of see. Is this kind of like Arcane-ish in a way? I don't know. I'm not, an expert on animation style or anything, but
It's taken years. For
no,
these
I feel like
spirit
it's more like
blossoms
video
to
game
return.
cinematic.
If the land is ready to heal, perhaps you are as well.
And this is the way? Old men, flowers, and hope.
Maybe hope is enough.
Maybe.
Immerse yourself in the river Whaley.
Now, obviously, there's the whole Spirit Blossom event going on.
Let the currents take this burden you carry.
Can you see, like, the blood coming off of the blade? Yeah.
Let me go, Yone!
Oh.
I was winning! Did you see me take out that big one?
I saw you dishonor yourself.
You fight?
When I have to, not when I want to.
You don't have anything to prove.
Yasuo
There's
trying to
always
prove
another
himself.
Fight, Yasuo. Finding it proves nothing.
Yone, the wise one, man. The older brother.
Your place is here. With Elder Suma. He trained me for this. I can help end
This is him wanting to fight, yep, in the war. With Noxus.
Your duty is to this school. To your master. To Ionia. Then I should be out there protecting her. I won't fail you, Yone. It seems I have already failed you.
Okay, so Yone's trying, but I feel like he's going about it the wrong way to like teach Yasuo not to just want to fight all the time. He's just kind of like saying, "No, brother, don't do it. No, no." You know what I mean? I feel like, I don't know. He needed to teach Yasuo why he shouldn't be going out and wanting to fight all the time. But who knows?
Drink this. It will help forge a bond between our
Nope.
realms.
Nope. Chat. Viewers. Whoever's
Drink,
watching this. Chat was the thing I normally say. Anyways, don't ever drink a freaking random stranger's cup,
Gets me
ever.
out of trouble.
Sometimes we must go looking for our demons.
Demons. He's saying face your fears. But obviously this is like some poison mixture. Oh, he knows right away. He knew right away. Whoa. Oh, the rain looks so cool, slowed down.
And sometimes they find us.
That's creepy. Okay, Yone looks freaking cool. Yasuo, stop. What are you doing? Why are you protecting the demon, bro?
Show yourself.
Now, I don't fully know the Yone story.
I'm not here for you.
Killing me does nothing, Hunter. If he lives, I will return.
I will return. If he lives, I will return. Oh, the wind technique. Yone looks freaking cool. Oh.
What a disappointment. And your honor froze.
Better than living without it.
Hmm.
Yone.
There you go. He sees the form, the technique. Isn't it like a demon or something combines with him?
Murderer. Then why are you running?
Hmm. Isn't that straight from the biography we just read? Oh snap, he's about to use it against him. Yone smiling there. Oh, that's really cool. Okay. I don't remember any of this. Whoa. Okay, this is freaking cool. Seeing them fight together. Oh. Oh, that was so cool. Like the slow digging of the sword. All right, well, we got to do a Yone video next then, don't we? We should probably do these two back to back. It makes sense. I know you guys have plenty of requests for people for me to react to, but
You might deserve death,
uh
but not by my hand.
fair enough.
There is nothing left for me in Ionia.
Right, isn't this where he okay,
The wind has a path, brother.
so that's why he was staying in Ionia, huh?
Farewell, Yone.
Yeah, doesn't he go to Bilgewater next, right?
May the spirit of Ionia guide you.
That does stink though, because he's like literally leaving his brother. Yone stays here, I imagine. I don't know what cinematic it is, or maybe it's still in this one. Yeah, it's still in this one. Okay. Who is it he's going to Bilgewater with?
It's easier looking back, isn't it?
Oh, is it Ari?
The trick is seeing what lies ahead.
It is.
From what I hear, most likely thieves, beasts, and drink.
It is a lawless place where you can decide your own fate.
Reflecting again.
Besides, we're both looking for something, aren't we?
And you think we'll find it in Bilgewater?
I think we'll find many things.
Yeah, so this is like, this is where their lore ends, at least according to like the biography page for Yasuo. So it's like, I want more. What's happened since 2020? It's 2023 right now. I need more. I need more Yasuo story. I need more story for a lot of the characters we've reacted to be fair. But I mean, I get it. I say this every time. There's 160 characters. How are we supposed to keep up? How are they supposed to keep up with everybody, right? So I thought this battle scene against this. Do we know? Is it a demon, an Azakana, I think, or something is what it was called in the biography page for him. It looks really cool, and then them fighting together. The colors of like the water. I'm trying to get like a still of it. The colors of them fighting together. I think we'll find one right here with the red. The red, whatever red they chose, is like a really cool, like this red. It's almost pink here, but yeah, it's like this dark, or it's like, yes, right here. This color red, I don't even know if that's just standard red, but I don't know. It's sick. It's really cool. It's like the same color as his mask. It's almost like a dark red. And then Yasuo's blue as well, like right here when he's like slashing him multiple times. So cool. Anyways, guys, I thought this cinematic helped visualize his biography, right? Which was the whole Elder Suma thing and him wanting to fight this war in Ionia to stop the Noxians. Now, I haven't fully dove into that war yet. There's like little snippets I know about it. I know like Master Yi's involved. Irelia, I think, is like the one that essentially stops the war. things like that. There's little snippets I know about the war, but I did not know. I guess it makes sense. Yasuo and Yone were there at the time during the war, and Yasuo really wanted to stop it, but Yone didn't want him to go to war. You know what I mean? He didn't think it'd be good for him. And then the whole Elder Suma thing happened. So, but the war obviously clearly ended. So Yasuo is probably kind of lost now, and it seems like he was staying in Ionia, right? Because that's what he was doing here at this pool of water or whatever. He's trying to like let go of his past. He's trying to not let go. I don't know what the right term is. But you know what I mean? He's trying to move on past it. And this whole event here allows him to move past it. And even Yone, like getting Yone's permission to be like, yeah, brother, you're not going to die by my hands. You know what I mean? Like, we're good. I don't know if he's saying we're good, but, you know, he's basically saying, we're good, man. Move on with your life. It's not your fault. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. I'm making this up, right? And I think that gives Yasuo closure on Ionia, so he wants to leave. So probably because it causes him too much trauma, and also because everybody on Ionia is chasing after him, trying to kill him still, right? So he's like, I'm gonna leave. Let's go to Bilgewater. Why Bilgewater? I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the closest next place, right? Or he's looking for something, like Ari says. Anyways, I thought this was really cool. Let's go ahead and see if there's any other videos, any other cinematics we could check out. Obviously, we have the voice lines and interactions, and we still have the fandom wiki page to check out. All right, everybody. I saw that Yasuo's login screen or champion theme. It's actually older. It's like 7 years old, and it's pretty short. So I thought we would just react to it real fast. I saw Yone had one that's more updated. It was only 2 years ago, but I guess maybe they haven't done a new one for Yasuo, or maybe we're just sticking with this one. So let's see.
A lot of people want me dead.
Oh, he's talking. Okay.
They call it justice. I'm the only one who knows the truth. All I have left is the wind by my side.
Very cool. That's a cool login screen. Ooh. That's kind of peaceful. Kind of peaceful. I like it. Dude, this is taking a man bun to the extreme, by the way. I mean, it's not a man bun, but you know what I mean. I love that you hear the wind in his theme. It makes so much sense. I don't know what this is, if you want to call it a piccolo, a flute. Sounds more like a piccolo to me, but it's very beautiful. I really like it. Man, it's too short. I want it to be longer, to be honest. I dig it. This is very cool. Very, very, very beautiful music, in my opinion. And the login screen was very peaceful as well. And then just hearing like the soothing wind, it's almost like music you would listen to, or like you know, people listen to like sounds when they go to sleep. That wind noise, it sounds like something, you know what I mean? It sounds real peaceful. It sounds like something people would use to help them fall asleep and stuff. So very cool login screen. Let's go ahead and move on to another video here, though. All right, looks like we have a Legends of Runeterra video for Yasuo, which is exciting because I know a lot of the characters are kind of coming out slowly in Legends of Runeterra, so they're not like fully out and everything, but it's awesome that we have Yasuo in the game and we have a video we can check out for him. So let's see it. Cool.
I go where the road
Champion
takes
Showcase.
me.
Okay. All right, what do we got here? Strike swiftly, yeah. He's a 4/3. Moves like the wind. I understand these references. When you stun or recall a foe, stun an attacking enemy. His wind technique stuns. Okay. Yasuo damages them as well. Okay. Cool. After 5 enemies go flying, does something special happen? You like transform or something? he levels up. Okay. Is that in reference to like the 5 people coming after him after they thought he killed Elder Suma or something? I don't know.
I will follow this path until the end.
So he becomes a 5/4 and his picture changes, and then it says when you stun or recall an enemy, I strike it. Okay, same concept. But he just levels up. Pretty cool. Now when enemies are in the air. Oh, that's what. Okay, so recalling a unit is like essentially putting them in the air. Interesting. He slashes straight through them. So you can make a deck around Yasuo with like stunning and recalling, huh? Yasuo in your deck. Cool. Yasuo Wind Chaser. You can unleash the storm. Whoa.
Return home, Yasuo. You know there's nothing for me there.
There's nothing for them there. Jeez, I can't even talk. There absolutely is nothing there for him anymore. Especially after this cinematic. That was cool. Okay, that's awesome. I'm glad we got another Legends of Runeterra thing. I don't see any like interactions, or we did get a little bit of his voice lines in the game though. But I don't think there was anything else there. So very cool. Let's see his gameplay spotlight because I haven't checked out his actual gameplay in League of Legends next. All right, everybody, I found the champion spotlight for Yasuo. Now, this video is 9 years old. I assume he just hasn't had a rework. So the video is going to be pretty old. It looks like it's going to be pretty old League of Legends. So I'm assuming it still stands, though, his gameplay. It's just going to look a little dated. But I still want to check it out. All right. Yasuo the Unforgiven.
Who says I can't handle my drink?
Playstyle and
Yasuo
skins.
is a melee fighter on the hunt for his Elder's killer.
I
The
knew
only
Yasuo.
swordsman in his generation to have perfected a legendary wind technique. Yasuo directs the currents themselves to dash through enemy front lines and nullify ranged threats.
Is this the
With
same
zero
voice?
cost abilities and extremely low cooldowns, Yasuo thrives in extended team fights and relies on his high mobility to engage and shred through his enemies.
Okay. Let's see these
Yasuo's
abilities.
Passive, Way of the Wanderer, has 2 components. The first, Intent, doubles Yasuo's critical strike chance. So building 50% crit on Yasuo means his attacks always critically strike.
Crit. Okay.
The second component
Makes
in
sense.
Yasuo's passive is Resolve. Yasuo's resource bar, his flow, is replenished through
His
movement.
flow.
The faster
Oh, through
Yasuo
movement.
moves, the faster he refills his flow.
Hmm.
If Yasuo takes damage from enemy champions or neutral monsters,
He
while
loses
his flow bar
flow.
is full, he converts his flow into a shield for a few seconds.
Ah. Okay.
Yasuo's E, Sweeping Blade, affects several of his other abilities, so let's start there. Sweeping Blade is a single target dash that damages and marks Yasuo's enemy, signaling that he cannot dash to them again until the mark is dissipated.
So he dashes straight to him.
Sweeping Blade has
It's like a
fixed
chase maneuver.
distance, so if he's standing close to his target, he'll dash through it.
Oh, okay.
Each successive cast deals increased damage up to a cap, so it's advantageous to dash through several targets at a time to maximize your damage out.
Oh, that's cool.
Unlike most dashes, Sweeping Blade can be interrupted by all crowd control effects.
Interesting.
When caught overextending, Yasuo can use Sweeping Blade to dash through enemies toward the safety of his turret.
Right. You can use it
Next
to get
up
away.
is Yasuo's Q, Steel Tempest. After a brief channel, Yasuo thrusts his sword out in the direction of your cursor, damaging all enemy units hit.
Okay.
Steel Tempest functions as a basic attack, meaning Yasuo can crit with it,
Oh.
and he applies on-hit effects to the closest struck enemy.
Very cool.
If Yasuo casts Steel Tempest 3 times in a row,
How far does it
his
go?
third cast sends out a long-range whirlwind that damages and knocks up all enemies in a line.
Oh, whoa. That's very cool.
In
Okay.
lane, Steel Tempest is Yasuo's bread and butter ability. With its low cooldown, he can use his Q to last hit and harass as he builds stacks toward his whirlwind. By casting the ability so frequently, he's able to use the knockup to land extra attacks on Kha'Zix. Yasuo can also activate Steel Tempest while dashing with Sweeping Blade. When used mid-dash, the ability
Oh,
slashes
wow.
all enemies immediately around him.
Wait, what?
If he dashes with Sweeping Blade while hitting his third Q, Yasuo also knocks them up into the air.
Whoa. Very cool.
Wind Wall
Kind of
has
like a
passive and
combo
active component. Passively,
character.
it increases the rate at which dashing replenishes Yasuo's flow bar.
Wind wall?
Activating the ability instantly sends out a wall in a target direction that blocks all enemy projectiles for a few seconds, including
Oh.
ranged auto attacks,
Interesting.
skill shots, and targeted abilities.
I wonder
The
if
only
that's good.
projectiles that the wall doesn't stop are turret attacks.
Turret attacks makes
Still,
sense.
Wind Wall is an extremely powerful ability with the potential
Holy.
to block tons of damage
Wow. Okay.
when timed and positioned correctly.
Right.
Cast Wind Wall behind you while retreating from ranged enemies to ensure a successful disengage.
Right. It's a good way to just get out.
Yasuo's ultimate is Last Breath, which has an enormous cast
Last
range
Breath.
but can only be used on airborne enemy champions.
Oh.
Activating Last Breath teleports Yasuo to his target, suspending them in midair briefly while he deals physical damage to them. After landing, Yasuo gains a huge long-lasting armor penetration buff that affects enemy champion bonus armor.
Okay.
There are two important aspects worth pointing out here. First, Last Breath suspends and strikes all airborne enemies in the area near Yasuo's target.
Everybody.
Second, Yasuo can capitalize on any knockup ability with Last Breath, making him synergize extremely well
So
with
anybody
champions
else.
like Janna.
Okay.
Last Breath is an extremely powerful ability with the potential to turn the momentum of any fight.
He doesn't
Here,
seem like an
Yasuo's
easy
able to
character,
chain his ult with Malphite's initiation to safeguard Sejuani's retreat.
in my opinion. Definitely not.
Let's have a look at a few of Yasuo's ability combos.
Yeah, he
before
seems like a
engaging
combo
gameplay.
kind of character in
The
general.
first is a simple lane harass combo. After filling your flow bar, lead in with E to dash through the minion line and close the gap with your lane
I'm sure
opponent.
this is all
Land your
basic.
Q before dashing back through the minion wave, using your passive shield to help you win the trade.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Next is an all-in kill combo. After priming your first Q on minions, use your E to close the gap and strike again
Second
with a
Q.
mid-dash Q, which guarantees a fully primed whirlwind. Continuing your pursuit, chain your whirlwind into your ultimate before casting a final Q thanks to its low cooldown.
Wow.
This combo is especially effective mid-game to go in on your lane
Wow,
opponent.
what a full combo to kill somebody. Okay.
Once Yasuo's passive shield has been popped, you have a short window of opportunity to trade with your opponents. Ranged champions can trigger the shield with relative ease before hitting you with hard-hitting
Yo,
spells.
Oriana's whooping you, bro.
Successful Yasuo players will be decisive and either trade back or retreat before the shield expires. When entering a fight, look for opportunities to block off ranged enemies with Wind Wall while you pursue your target. With Ziggs out of the way, Yasuo tags Amumu with several Qs as he waits for him to pass through the choke point leading back to mid lane.
Oh, wow.
Once there, Yasuo can easily aim his whirlwind and secure the kill with Last Breath.
The wind wall seems to be like his
The range in Yasuo's
weakest
whirlwind
move,
offers great
but
re-engagement potential.
still good.
After roaming bot for a seemingly unsuccessful gank, Yasuo readies his third Q before retreating. Seeing Jinx head back into lane, he quickly dashes through a minion to line up a long-range whirlwind and re-engage with Last Breath.
Oh, wow. So cool.
By leveling up Steel Tempest and building attack speed, Yasuo is able to stack his Q much faster through the ability's reduced cast time and cooldown. Once Yasuo's in range to land his first Q, his cast time is so low that he can essentially use the ability while moving, helping him keep up and secure the kill with his whirlwind.
Cool.
Yasuo gets the most from his ultimate when used early in team fights.
Oh,
After
okay.
Successfully repositioning himself
Right, 'cause he gets the
among enemy
armor
squishies,
penetration.
Yasuo uses the huge armor penetration buff to
Yeah.
significantly boost his damage
I was
through
gonna
the
say.
course of the fight.
Yep.
Steel Tempest is on such a low cooldown that Yasuo can incorporate the ability into his standard attack pattern.
Wow. That's crazy. Just use it
While
whenever.
finishing off Garen, Yasuo uses Sweeping Blade to dodge Oriana's ball before catching her with his second knockup.
Wow.
Had Yasuo used Wind Wall here to absorb Caitlyn's attacks, he might have survived the fight and earned himself a pentakill.
Ah. Fair enough.
When building Yasuo, there are a few key stats that are central to his kit and playstyle. Movement speed, attack speed, critical strike chance, and defense.
Okay.
Critical strike is doubly effective on Yasuo thanks to his passive, and movement speed lets him stick to enemies
Yeah,
and
get
refresh
even
his
more
shield
crit?
frequently.
That's crazy.
This makes Static Shiv a great early purchase.
Oh, they're talking about
especially
the
since
items to
Sweeping
buy.
Blade refreshes the item's charges.
Some of these
Attack
items are like the
directly
ones that
affects
you
the
would use
cooldown
in
and
TFT
cast time of Steel
as
Tempest,
well.
allowing him to use his whirlwind and combos earlier in fights.
Zephyr? I know that one
Finally,
last
as
one, Zephyr.
attractive as high
Or something.
damage builds are, Yasuo absolutely needs defensive items to survive in the late game. A Randuin's Omen or Banshee's Veil helps Yasuo stick to his enemies while providing much needed durability.
Oh, I don't know any of those items.
Thanks
was
for
cool.
tuning in to the Yasuo Champion Spot.
Yeah, this is like the old
Please
Riot
subscribe to
logo
Riot Games' YouTube channel and leave us your comments just below the video.
and everything. Okay.
After filling
Very
your-
cool. Let's pause it. Yeah, he seems like a combo character. He seems like somebody that it's so weird to say this. I'm comparing him again to Genji. So like, for example, Genji is kind of like in Overwatch, if you don't know who Genji is, is kind of like a, I don't want to say a combo character, but he's definitely more like a, he's not one of the easier characters to learn. He's definitely like a little bit, he's more mobile than some of the other characters. He has the same dash ability that Yasuo has. So it's just very similar, is how I'm going to compare him to. So Genji's not an easy character to learn, but at, you know, high levels, Genji can be very good. I assume it's kind of the same for Yasuo. At the higher end level, Yasuo can be very good, but maybe at lower end, he's kind of just okay if because people aren't as good with him. I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. So Yasuo, I want to know, again, we've reacted to the Necrit power level video. Where do Yasuo and Yone and all that? I guess Yone is a little bit different now, but where does the Yasuo, geez, line up on the power level ranking against other League of Legends characters? I feel like he's actually probably on the lower end. He's probably not all that crazy. Yeah, he has this wind technique, and he's like the only person alive now that knows the wind technique. But I guess, you know what I mean? I don't know how far that can get you. And he's not like immortal or anything like that either. So very interesting. You guys let me know how Yasuo is used in game as well. I'm always curious to know if he's used at the high level gameplay or if he's just used by, you know, like newbies and stuff like that. Because there are definitely characters, again, I'm comparing to Overwatch. There are characters that are least picked, right? For example, I could use like Sombra as a character that's not picked very often in Overwatch 2. She's at the lowest, you know, lowest win rate, lowest pick kind of character. It doesn't matter what rank, you know, Masters or Silver, you know, she's just not being picked very often. Stuff like that. So I'm sure there are characters like that in League of Legends, but I'm sure Yasuo, being a very popular character, like I presume Genji is a very popular character, then I assume he is probably picked a lot. So you guys let me know. I'm always curious about that kind of like statistics and stuff. I wonder if there's a way I can find out. Like maybe there's a way I can like look at the statistics of League of Legends, maybe make it into a reaction video where I can just like see, oh, what characters are being picked in this season or something, right? Because I'm very curious about that kind of stuff. Even though I don't play the game, it still is, it piques my curiosity. Let's go ahead and do, what else do we have? We have the fandom wiki stuff to check out, and then we still have the voice lines and interactions. I like to save that for last. All right, here we are on the fandom wiki page. Let's check out the skins. And of course, our boy has plenty of skins for us to go through here. So we have the original. So of course, I usually enjoy the original skins very, very much, but let's go ahead and see. He's probably got a ton that we might like. I saw the High Noon one. I'm not the biggest fan, only because it's like, yes, I don't know. It's kind of just generic almost, I want to say. You know, it just reminds me of Cassidy from Overwatch, or you can compare it to any other like High Noon type character in other games. Ooh, the project skin though. Yeah. I'm liking the hair. And then obviously the sword and the helmet looks really, really cool as well. Okay. What do we have next? We have Blood Moon, the mask. I mean, the mask is the cool thing here. Holy crap. Ceremonial executioner of the Blood Moon cult. Yasuo's blade is inhabited by an insidious, bloodthirsty demon whose hunger for death can never be satisfied. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Nightbringer. Okay. Born from festering echoes at the dawn of creation, Yasuo is a hellish embodiment of chaos and the cosmos. Okay, that one's pretty cool. We have Odyssey. Oh, this one's cool. He's got a little pet. Who's the pet? Yasuo never wanted to be a space pirate. Oh, this is the space pirate one. Until he was framed for his brother's murder and had to flee his life of relative luxury. Now on the run from a dozen different military and paramilitary factions, he's putting together an eccentric crew to make a new life among the stars. Oh, that would be actually like a cool television show, like a space pirate show. Okay, this one's pretty cool because of like the lore kind of behind it. I want to know more about this little pet. We have Battle Boss. Okay. Yasuo was infected with Vagar's malignant code after the battle boss takeover of Arcadia. It's like I was gonna say it's like video gamey, I guess, which is kind of weird to say in a video game skin. But yeah, okay. True Damage. Okay, so we have there was a music video called True Damage, right? So it's like a DJ skin kind of for the music video. Very cool. Prestige True Damage. Ooh, which one do I like better? I think I like the I like elements of both, but I think I'm going to go with just the regular True Damage one. We have Spirit Blossom. Ooh, very cool artwork. You know what? The Spirit Blossom one's pretty badass. I'll go with that one as well. So far, okay, I'll tell you guys my top 3. I know we haven't gone through all of them. I'm going to go with, so far, I really like Blood Moon. And we will say Odyssey, okay? Those are like my top 2. I haven't decided on the third one yet. Spirit Blossom might be number 3. We have Sea Dog. Whoa. Okay. This one might be my number 3, actually. I don't even know what it's regarding. But okay, yeah, even the mightiest Sea Dog has his day, and Yasuo stood against the forces of darkness, emerging triumphant. Interesting. Truth Dragon. There's so many cool skins for this guy, man. You guys, what is your guys' favorite? Which one do you guys usually see in game itself? Like, what's a very popular skin that you will see a lot for Yasuo? Obviously, I don't know how skins exactly work. I'll be honest, yeah, I don't know exactly how skins work. I know some are like super rare ones that you can only get for a limited time, but I don't know, like, are most of these skins, I see there's like a price here at the bottom showing that you can buy them with the points or whatever. Is it always that case, or, you know, is there like something special to get some of these skins, for example? And then we have Dream Dragon. Truth Dragon or Dream Dragon? I think I like Truth Dragon better in this case. Guys, yeah, okay. So real quick run through. Do I like the project one? Blood Moon. It's going to go Blood Moon. I like Odyssey. The Space Pirate one's really cool. Let me look at it in game. Oh, yeah, the colors are sick. Okay, I like Space Pirate. Let's see. What do we have here? Blood Moon. Oh, they don't have another thing for it. Okay. Well, maybe we don't like Blood Moon. No, we like Blood Moon. Okay, and then what was the other one? Sea Dog. Yeah, Sea Dog. Sea Dog's number 3. So those are very cool skins for Yasuo. Unfortunately, the original is not my fave in this one. Usually the original is, but Yasuo having all these really cool skins, and of course I knew he would because he's like one of the more popular characters. Again, it compares a lot to Overwatch's Genji because Genji has a crap ton of skins as well. It just makes sense to make a bunch of skins for your most popular character, right? So, or I mean, obviously he's probably not the most popular, but most well-known anyway. Let's see. Yasuo Yone is one of the 7 pairs of siblings champions. Okay, who are the other sibling champions? Right, so we have Jinx and Vi, Cassiopeia and Katarina, which I haven't dove into too much at all. We have Kayle and Morgana, which we've done a video on. Garen and Lux, we know a little bit about because of Silas. Nasus and Renekton, we just know the whole Shuriman story. Not the whole, well, I would say we kind of know the whole Shuriman story. Not the whole thing, but because there's like, wasn't it Renekton got trapped somewhere and then his mind got all messed up. And then Darius and Draven. Yeah, we haven't done anything too much with the Noxus people yet, I'll be honest. So, and then though not a pair, Nivea, Orin, and Volibear are also siblings. Yeah, we do know that. The flute Yasuo plays in his dance emote is most likely a shakuhachi harmonica for High Noon, wind controller for Project. Okay. His classic dance references a performance of this instrument. Side-by-side comparison. Yasuo is the first champion to have an emote that will orient himself the same. Dancing emote facing the bottom right of the screen no matter what direction Yasuo was facing. Akali is the second. The melody of his classic dance complements Yone's when the two use the dance emote simultaneously. A side-by-side comparison can be seen. Oh, that's very cool. I'm glad they did like interactions sort of like even with emotes with him and his brother. Yasuo's design is largely based on the Japanese Ronin, a samurai whose masters had died or stripped of titles and lands. Many Ronin became mercenaries, bodyguards, or even criminals. You know what that just reminded me of? The game Ghost of Tsushima. That game is very good. If you guys have not played that, I highly recommend it. And I hope I think they're making a second one, but it'll probably take some time, right? The length of Yasuo's sword is about that of a tachi or even an odachi. However, he wears it cutting edge up like the shorter katana. Okay, so he wears it like it's a katana, but it's one of the longer swords, I guess. Yasuo is a Japanese masculine given name rendered as peaceful man in the Japanese localization. Oh, very interesting that he's a peaceful man and there's all this drama, right? From old Japanese, Yasu, cheap, easy over peaceful, and masculine, morphine. Okay. Way of the Wanderer's modified critical strike chance references samurai gameplay portrayals in video games. For April Fool's Day 2017, a video showcasing a joke rework for Yasuo was posted. So hold on. We're just going to like skim through some of this because a little bit of it is just like kind of like related to abilities sometimes. And it's like not really all that important info. It's when we get to the character fandom wiki that's a little bit more important, but there are some in here that are kind of cool. Let's see. A functional real-life replica of Yasuo's steel blade was crafted in an episode of YouTube series Man at Arms. Oh, that's pretty cool. I think I know that series. The video can be viewed here. There are also videos where the following are crafted. Oh, very cool. That show crafts other people's things. Okay. At 25 August 2018, on the statement, one of my favorites, players ranked Yasuo second and CN 50 unfair to play against. They ranked now. Oh, okay. These are what players ranked Yasuo second in Canada and CN. Yeah. And then 56th in NA. Oh, okay. So Yasuo was not people's favorite. He was 56th. I mean, that's top third, right? On fair to play against, they ranked him 23rd in Canada and 137th in NA. Okay, so wait a minute. Does that mean if he's 137th in terms of fair to play against, does that mean he's not fair to play against? I'm confused by like how the ranking works. Okay, overall on gameplay, visuals, voice, etc., they ranked him first in Canada. Is it Canada CN? I feel weird that it's CN. And then 38th in NA. Okay, so there you go. I mean, that's pretty darn high for gameplay, visuals, voice, etc. Number 1, and then 38th. Now, obviously, this is 2018. That was 5 years ago. 4.5, technically. We're in the beginning of 2023 here. But still, you know, pretty good numbers. As an Easter egg in set 4 of Teamfight Tactics, Yasuo would flash a Mastery 7 emote if he single-handedly defeats the enemy team as the only remaining unit. This references the community stereotype of Yasuo players loving to flash their Mastery in League of Legends matches. A video demonstration of this can be seen here. I might need to check this out. Hold on. Let me see this. Because I do play TFT. I don't know if I was playing during this set. It does look like a familiar set, so I probably was, but never noticed it. Let's fast forward. Oh. I never noticed that, or I probably never had it happen. That's very cool, though. So it's like a meme / joke, sort of, because that's what Yasuo players would do in the game League of Legends. Got it. You guys will have to explain that one to me. Is it just something that Yasuo players would do to BM or to be toxic or, you know what I mean, to taunt? Let me know. All right, here we go. We're on the character page. Yasuo, an Ionian of deep resolve. Yasuo is an agile swordsman who wields the air itself against the enemies. I don't think we need to read this. It's all going to be, you know, basically the same stuff that we read in the biography and story. So go check that out if you did not watch that part. Let's see. So we have his early life here. Yasuo was born in an Ionian village after his father came like an autumn wind into the life of his mother, who was already a widow. His father had left by the time winter settled over the land. Yasuo grew up to be very close to his half-brother Yone. However, in contrast to Yone's respectful and patient personality, Yasuo was often arrogant and impulsive. But after being accepted into the village's renowned sword school, his determination and talent caught the attention of Elder Suma, the last master of the legendary wind technique. He initially refused the tutelage of Elder Suma, but then Yone gave him a maple seed, symbolizing his plea for Yasuo to show humility. Subsequently, Yasuo accepted the master's offer and became his apprentice and bodyguard. Yasuo continued to train in the sword school, and his use of the wind technique made his sparring sessions with Yone a sight to behold. Okay, very cool. Oh, there's more related characters in here on the fandom page. It's got like Lilia, Misfortune, Maokai. It's probably got to do with, like, for example, yeah, the Ruined King event and things like that. It looks like, yeah, but like the Ruined King game as well, because I know he's like in the game with like Ari and Braum and Misfortune and them. So that's probably why they're related characters. During the Noxian invasion, when news of the Noxian invasion and the great stand at Navori reached the school, many of the disciples, including Yone, chose to help defend against the approaching Noxians. Yasuo, however, was ordered to stay back and defend his elders. Soon Yasuo heard drums of a Noxian march and chose to go out and face the enemy, thinking he could turn the tide of the battle. Now we need to figure out why Riven killed Elder Suma and how that whole accident essentially happened, because in the biography it just briefly mentions it in a paragraph that it's an accident. Riven didn't mean to do it. We haven't none of you have actually really told me to react to Riven. Nobody suggested it, but I know in a lot of our videos there's like interactions with Riven and it's just about her being broken or about her you know, because her sword's broken, and I don't know the whole lore behind her sword. It's mentioned in a Necrit video, but we didn't fully get into Riven's story, so I will get there eventually. Anyways, but when he arrived at the battlefield, he found death everywhere. Something unnatural had caused hundreds of Noxians and Ionians to perish. Is that the Riven thing? When Yasuo returned to the school, he found himself surrounded by the remaining students and learned that his master was dead. They accused him of murder, so he fought his way free in hopes of punishing the true killer. When Yasuo was tracked down by Yone, they clashed swords, and Yasuo cut down his half-brother, who died before he could grant any absolution. Very sad story. Appearance. Yasuo appears to be a fairly stocky adult man, fair skin with a scar on his nose, brown eyes. Oh, he's got a scar. Okay, brown eyes with green highlights. I want brown eyes with green. How do I get the green highlights part? Guys, I have brown eyes. Obviously, if you can't tell, I'll zoom in for you. Anyways, sometimes I wish I had different colored eyes. You know what I mean? I don't know. Brown is like your most basic eyes. You know what I mean? When you go to make a character in a game, brown eyes is basic. Okay, I want different color. I want blue or green or something. Probably green. It probably wouldn't look good, but I just want different colored eyes. Anyways, back length hair tied in a ponytail. Sorry for that little rant. Anyways, and has a shadow of a beard. Okay, that's that's me. I can't grow a beard. His attire consists of a rather torn ionic samurai. It says ionic. Okay, samurai style armor. On his right, he has a part of metal armor. Yeah, like a big shoulder. And the rest is a torn light blue armor that exposes part of his chest. Baggy pants and a cloth that covers part of his chest and the face, and always carries with him his sword. To be fair, his actual like clothing, it's one of those like video game things where it's like he's not really wearing armor. It's not really like half of his body showing, and it's like, you know what I mean? Like, would you really go to battle like that? Anyways, abilities: magic born. So Yasuo was born with natural magical ability, but in choosing to become a warrior, he almost never practiced using his magical powers except for simple but useful attacks. I did not know that. Is that just everybody from Ionia? Wind magic. Yasuo was born with the magical ability to manipulate wind and air currents, giving him the ability to create air-based shields, conjure tornadoes, or even wind-powered fight. We know all that. Master swordsmanship. Yasuo is a very skilled swordsman, combining his ninja techniques with his magical abilities, giving him the ability to launch direct or distant attacks. He is only rivaled by his brother Yone. You know what's interesting that I really would love to do? So I have reacted to the Necrit power level video. Now I know that power level video is old and probably needs to be updated, but I would love to do this. It's not going to happen for a very long time, but I want to go through every single character and I want to like react to that video knowing what I know now. And I feel like everything will make way more sense to me. Because when I reacted to that, I didn't know a single thing. But yeah, I would love to do that sometime in the future. Okay. Ooh, we're getting more info on his relations. This is very cool. So Yasuo is an Ionian swordsman once accused of treason for allegedly murdering Elder Suma, his own master whom he was supposed to protect. He was hunted down across the island continent until under the evidence that the killer employed a wind technique, one that only Yasuo has mastered in the present day. Yeah, I want to know why that's the case. He was forced to kill his former allies, likely the entirety of his school. He later crossed paths with Talia while on the run, teaching the Shuriman stone mage how to control her powers. When they parted ways, she gifted him a long thread from her hand-spun wool tunic, which he uses to tie his hair up. Very cool. Did not know that. After parting ways with Talia, Yasuo became determined to find the true killer of his elder. He suspected Riven of being the elder's killer and confronted her. This was previously evidenced in interaction quotes with her. Oh, we'll get those probably in the video. Wait, that broken wings technique? Huh? Oh, I don't know what this is. 3 swift strikes, another wind blade. Who taught you that? Okay. So he he's like, how do you know all these wind techniques? How do you know all that? Interesting. Eventually, Riven confessed to unintentionally killing Elder Suma, whose wind technique shattered her blade. Oh, so that's how her blade becomes shattered. Okay. And killed him with a stray shard. Well, why were they fighting in the first place? So Elder Suma's wind technique shattered her blade, and it accidentally killed Elder Suma. However, Yasuo admitted to dereliction of duty, for he could have protected Elder Suma had he not left to engage the Noxians. Despite being cleared of his accusations, Yasuo is still infamously known across Ionia as the killer of his master. Yeah, just like in the short story with the little brother, like he's still known as the person that killed his master, even though it's not true, and even though like the people at, he knows it. Yone knows it, essentially, and I think Riven knows it, so, or obviously, right? Yasuo's presence or absence making a difference was highlighted during Riven's trial when he focused the wind technique on Riven's sword as Suma would have, and the shard that killed his master nearly did the same to ARCANE, Riven's adopted father. This time, Yasuo was able to stop the shard before it could cause any harm. Oh, there's a trial that Riven has a trial for this. That's very cool, and then they demonstrate it, like it's a, okay. Let's see. In the second Noxian invasion of Ionia, so this invasion that occurred was the first invasion. This is a second invasion, because I mentioned earlier that Irelia is the one that stops the invasion Maybe that's reference, and this is the one that she stops, maybe. So it says, in the second Noxian invasion of Ionia, Aurelia's call for help to defend a seaside village from the Noxian army, including Scion, was met by Akali, Karma, Kennen, and Yasuo, whose arrival turned the tide of the battle. Very cool. Yasuo is the younger half-brother to Yone, who he was very close to. Yes, we know this. Yone taught Yasuo many important lessons when he was young. When Yasuo was running away when accused of killing Elder Suma, Yone was heartbroken and filled with negative thoughts and feelings that fed an unknown Azakana. Oh. When Yone finally caught up, Yasuo was forced to kill his own brother, whose death would haunt him for a long time. Later, when Yasuo went to the Spirit Blossom Festival in Waylay, he was confronted by a resurrected Yone, who was trying to kill an Azakana that pretended to be a monk from the Green Glade Elder Order. After Yasuo let go of his own past, his brother defeated it. Although Yasuo offered to let Yone have vengeance for his death, he replied that Yasuo might deserve death, but it wouldn't be from Yone. With that, Yasuo stated Ione had nothing left for him, and they parted ways in peace, with Yone saying that even the wind has a path, and hoping that the spirit of Ionia guides his brother. After that event, he came across Ari, who's trying to find a guard. They are now going to Bilgewater together, right? So during the events of Ruin King, this is what happens at Bilgewater, essentially. During the events of Ruin King, Yasuo, Ari, Braum, Ilua, Misfortune, and Pike set sail to the Shadow Isles to stop Viego from endangering Bilgewater. After the events of Ruin King, Yasuo left Bilgewater to head to Noxus to search for Riven because he believes that she may need help there. So that's truly where our story ends for Yasuo. He is currently heading to Noxus to search for Riven because she may need help. So I feel like to continue this story, we need to figure out Riven's story. But I kind of want to do Yasuo's video and Yone's video like kind of back to back. So we're probably going to do that case. Maybe I tie it up all together with Riven. We'll see. I have been kind of going all over the place. So yeah, I did skim through this stuff. There's a little bit of like some short stories mentioned here and there. I don't think there's any of them that were super important that we needed to go into. The trivia, what's down here? The fact that Yasuo's existence being considered a mistake by others is mentioned in his biography is likely a reference to the community's hate toward him as a champion. Oh, you guys don't like Yasuo. I don't know. I have no idea. Yone and Yasuo both studied under the same master and know how to draw power from the wind, but only Yasuo knows the full secrets of the technique. They are now the only remaining members of the school, likely due to the rest having all been killed by Yasuo when pursuing him. The scar on Yasuo's face, which is on his nose, was caused by Yone in their duel before his death. The thread he uses to tie his hair is handspun Shuriman wool gifted to him by Talia, and then he is currently going to Bilgewater with Ari. Well, that's a little different because he's currently going to, according to up here, he's going to Noxus after the Ruin King event. So this probably just hasn't been updated. Still very cool. That gives me like the end of lore wise where Yasuo is, what's going on with him. I know his full story, I feel like now. We don't know everything that he does during the Ruin King event. We just kind of know he's in Bilgewater and helps is trying to help like with the whole Ruined King event. I do want to read the book, the Ruination, I think book is what it's called, because I'm sure he's mentioned in that at some point. It would be very cool to read that book, so I will get to that eventually. Guys, all right, all we have left is the voice lines and interactions. I'm excited to get into it. I hope you guys are as well, so let's go ahead. All right, so folks, I noticed Yasuo, I know he's super old, not in the game, but I mean in terms of like, his character is created like 9+ years ago. So I actually didn't see like a full-on just straight up special interactions video by Skin Spotlights. There's a few actually for the Yasuo different skins, but there's like, I mean, that would be like 5 different videos of me reacting to like the Nightbringer Yasuo or like the Truth Dragon Yasuo and the Project Yasuo, you know what I mean? So I saw this video, which also references Skin Spotlights. It's 9 years old. This one's only about 4 minutes. And then I saw that there's a Legends of Runeterra voices interactions video. So I'm going to do both of those. And that's probably what we're going to have for the voice line. So I don't necessarily have just our traditional Skin Spotlights videos that we usually have. And I think it's just because Yasuo is kind of one of the older characters. I don't know. I saw there was one for Yone only a couple years ago, but this one for Yasuo, there isn't any recent one. This is from 9 years ago. So let's check this out. This one's really short. It sounds like it goes pretty fast. So we'll talk about it. And then we'll try to go slow if we can.
I'll give you the easy way out. No cure for fools. Kill me.
Yeah, these are going
You
very
can
fast.
try. It's just death. Nothing serious. Make it quick. Don't start what I'll finish. At peace with yourself? You will be. Some things never dull. Some mistakes you can't make twice.
Man, these are going so fast.
I will not die dishonored. No more running.
I like that one. No more running. We know that because of the whole Kin of the Stainblade video as well.
I alone decide my fate.
Even though that just came recently.
One blade, one purpose. It is not yet time to die.
That's him dying? This is him dying after that line. That's hilarious. Okay. Okay, these are his attacks.
3 swift strikes. Wait, that technique.
Oh, here we go. This is the Riven.
Blade, above all things, except a good drink.
Okay, so let's pause. So those last couple of lines there were related to Riven knowing wind technique, yeah?
Who says I can't handle my drink?
Okay, so Yasuo has a drinking problem?
There are 3 certainties in life. Honor, death, and hangovers.
Okay, so this is not... Okay, interesting. We read his whole biography, his whole story, the fandom wiki. There's no mention of any drinking involved, but I guess Yasuo is a drinker? That laugh is kind of scary. I don't like it, actually. It sounds like somebody that's drunk is laughing. Yeah. I like his big armor on the shoulder there.
The sword's poor company for a long road. My honor left a long time ago. No one is promised tomorrow. Follow the wind.
Okay, so I'm going to pause again. So, because I want to make this 3-minute video to be a little bit longer. He's talking a lot about wind, obviously. Talking about a lot about honor and like death. And you know what I mean? He doesn't want to die until he actually finds out who killed Elder Suma, which we know he does. And then obviously he changes his path of like wanting to die. It's probably not. He doesn't want to die anymore because he finds out that what really happened wasn't really his fault, but kind of. So
but watch
it's
your
interesting.
back. This blade never gets any lighter.
And blade,
Virtue
yeah, a lot
is
of blade
no more
lines.
than a luxury. The road to ruin is shorter than you think. Sleep is for the guiltless. Justice, that's a pretty
For the
word.
guiltless.
One step ahead of the past.
Justice.
A wanderer isn't always lost, just looking for a road home. Never could stay in one place. I will follow this path until the end. Honor is in the heart, not
Honor.
the name. I will not forget who I am. This story is not yet finished. Is a leaf's
True.
only purpose to fall. Dying's the easy part.
Oh. Oh, those are cool. Face the wind.
There is only death.
Wow.
Mine or yours. If you've come to
Oh.
kill me,
Yes.
I hope you brought friends. Killing people is a bad habit,
Killing people's a bad habit.
but I can't seem to quit. Wuju. Never heard of it.
Wuju.
No.
What is
I
Wuju?
wouldn't. Nice.
So the big thing I'm missing from this video, which does suck, is I'm not seeing like the interactions he's having with other characters, which I'm sure there absolutely are. Maybe we'll watch one of the skin videos just to see what we get with it, but I don't want to watch all of them. We'll have to see whichever one has the most views, because I would love to see his interactions with other characters. You know, that's the big thing we're missing from
Bored?
this.
Boots? Scurry back to your shadows, ninja. Ninjas. I
Ninjas.
hate those guys. Cute mask.
He's got to be talking about Shen, Zed. You know what I mean? That whole gang.
Your, mom sew that? Which weighs more, Riven? Your blade or your past? Everyone faces a reckoning, Riven.
There we go.
You can't run from yourself, Riven.
It's all Riven
I've
lines.
tried.
Okay.
Broken sword. Broken spirit.
Huh. Oh, these are cool. Like him
People
attacking.
keep running into my blade.
Yeah, no, so this short little video was kind of cool. This is probably just like the original lines and everything. He didn't have too many with other characters, perhaps. He just with Riven because of the whole story there. But, you know, obviously he talked a lot about honor And then, you know, he's like wandering around Ionia. It sounds like he's getting drunk. From just his voice lines, like if I was coming from an outsider's perspective, not knowing anything about Yasuo, like reading the biography and stuff, I would say, yeah, he's like a wanderer around whatever land he's in. He's talking about honor and, you know, not running away at the same time, but like in wanting to find out who killed Elder Suma. Obviously, you know, he doesn't mention Elder Suma. A lot of the wind technique stuff is mentioned, and, you know, about his blade and things like that. So I want to see if the other videos have a little bit more. We want the interactions. That's what we love the most, are the interactions. And then definitely the Legends of Runeterra stuff is going to be more recent, because the card game's only been out for like 3 or so years, right? It hasn't been out that long. So let's go check that stuff out, and then we might check out one of the skin interactions as well. Okay, so I found this video just called Yasuo Special Interactions, Legend of Runeterra Voice Lines. Let's see, I'll shout them out. From Legends of Runeterra Voice Lines YouTube channel. So we're going to check this out. It's about 8 minutes long. This is really what I wanted. So this is all from the card game itself. The video is only 10 months old, so it's pretty recent. This is going to be way more recent than that 9-year-old video we just reacted to, right? So here we go.
At last, I have found you.
This is Yone.
Turn back while you can.
It's a little loud, but that works fine. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Just a little intro. We can skip ahead.
Does the wind flee? Or does it follow?
Okay, cool. See, we're getting interactions
At last,
with Yone.
I have found you.
This is what I want.
Yone, turn back while you can. Brother, what have you become? If I told you, would you listen?
It's fair.
Return home, Yasuo. You know there's nothing for me there.
I like this music.
You're wanted for your crimes.
No, Yone, he didn't do it.
I'm no murderer.
Oh, that's a cool line there.
Answer for what you have done. Have nothing more to give.
Oh, dude, he sounds so sad in these voice lines.
Yone, brother.
Oh, wow. This is really cool.
Wasn't worth both our lives.
There we go again with the honor.
Of all weapons.
Oh, here we go,
the
Riven.
past cuts deepest.
The past is a burden we both share.
Okay, we're getting Riven talking back. Okay.
I go where the road takes me.
However far you travel, you won't outrun the past.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. Which
Sleep is for the
is
guilt.
why in the Kin of the Stained Blade video, you know, that's him like not wanting to run away anymore. He wants to just get this over with. He wants to settle his past with his brother.
I never meant to cause you pain.
Follow the wind, but watch your back.
Broken wings need no wind to carry them.
Wow, that's deep.
They accused me of murder. They were wrong.
I would give you back your life if I could.
Yeah, their bond's got to be a little interesting. Oh, what is this? Yasuo reacting
Death
to
is like the
Yasuo?
wind, always by my side. Of all weapons, the past cuts deepest.
Shen?
You could have had a place among the Kinku.
I've got enough ghosts to fight already.
Okay.
The balance will decide your fate.
So Shen was willing to let him in,
It can try.
but he doesn't like ninjas.
A shame you let pride disrupt your training.
A shame you didn't.
Yeah, I don't think he likes ninjas much.
I go where the road takes me.
This line.
I'm glad it brought us back together, Yasuo.
Talia seems cool.
Follow the wind, but watch your back.
Okay, so these are some of the same lines and just seeing what Talia
Because
says.
a bird's trust is not in the branch beneath them.
Huh? What,
Is a
Talia?
leaf's only purpose to fall.
Okay, we heard that one.
Better a leaf than a mountain.
Fair. True.
Follow the wind, but
Oh, the
watch
voice
your
is
back.
different. Katarina?
Wise words for a dead man.
Whoa. Thresh?
Your brother said hello, or rather, screamed it.
Oh, wow. Thresh. Sorry, the voice lines are a little weird in the video.
Call that a sword?
Trendamir.
Some didn't. but I changed their minds.
Oh, that's a good response, Yasuo. Hell yeah.
The enemy of my enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Barely tolerates you.
he really doesn't like ninjas. Is there a reason he doesn't like Zed and Shen and all them?
I'm nobody's pawn.
Yeah, is he okay?
They call us murderers as though it were an insult.
I wonder why he doesn't like Shen and Zed and all the ninja
Save it
people
for someone who'll listen.
very much. There's got to be a reason there.
Dangerous out here, kid.
Who's this?
I can handle myself.
Mina? Who is Mina?
I go where the road takes me.
Are you the one with wind
Barnston.
technique?
Oh, these are other cards in the game.
Ready, willing, and learning.
Keep going, kid. You'll get it.
That's cool that he's got interactions with just like other cards like this.
What's today's lesson?
Wind technique.
Life's the best teacher you'll get.
Ari?
Death is like the wind, always by my side.
Makes sense.
Right. Hasagi.
Huh? What's the reference there?
Is a leaf's only purpose to fall?
Yasuo, shut up about this leaf.
You still haven't answered that question?
I love how Ari basically said the same thing. I'm like, dude, the leaf question is stop. Like, just stop. Okay, let's keep going.
I go where the road takes me.
This one too.
Wanderer, for once, I think you're lost.
Oh, Garen.
For justice, for Demacia.
Of course, Garen.
Some things never dull. And then there's you.
That's great. That's good.
Take your poison.
Bar alley.
Give me the usual.
Okay. The usual. He goes a lot.
Big blade for a little warrior.
Who's this?
Underestimate me. I dare you.
A Fey blade twirler. Cool.
Quick footwork, fast strikes.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
I still want to play Legends of Runeterra. I barely touched it.
with me.
Company makes the journey go faster.
Fair. True.
Everything's better with company.
Says you. Tough road. Keep each other safe.
It's cool that they did voice lines for this.
Tough to leave the past behind.
This guy.
Tales of our past are seeds for our future.
Tales of our past are seeds for our future.
What would you wish to learn?
I'm not the man you think I am.
Right, because he's not a murderer.
Tales
Number
of
one.
our past are seeds for our future.
He repeated
They
the line.
accused me of murder. They were wrong. My war host awaits.
Legion General.
Only the lucky ones return home.
Yeah.
All will kneel before Noxus. Noxus always wants something from Ionians.
That's true, and I'm glad they have not been able to conquer Ionia.
Pay or bleed. Rough technique. Good results.
Yeah?
Anything for the right coin.
Minotaur Reckoner.
Guess that's one way to do it.
What else we
Their
got?
screams pierce the darkness.
Ren Shadowblade.
Scurry back to your shadows.
He really doesn't like ninjas. So there's just like rivalry between samurais and ninjas or something? What
Not
is this?
bad, kid. Where'd
is
you
this?
learn that?
Is this like an ability or something? I have no idea
Feet
what
were
that is.
made for roaming and kicking.
Mina Swiftfoot again.
Set him up. We'll knock him down.
Right, that has to do with his ultimate, sort of. Like, setting him up in the air.
Asedio!
Oh, okay. He says these things when he does his abilities, I assume. Yeah, it's all wind technique stuff.
If the journey doesn't get you, the road might. Terrain here is opinionated.
Terrain here is opinionated. That's a good one. Is that all we get? Oh, so sad. Oh, wait, there's a little bit more.
Only one path. My own.
Okay. Oh, that's all we get. Darn. Okay, we're going to pause it. This is cool. See, this is more of what I wanted, and I'm glad they did at least something for Legends of Runeterra, because it seems like they haven't done anything for the original skin, or I don't know if they've not updated like the original skin's voice lines in the League of Legends game or not, because at least I'm not seeing a video for it. It's just all, you know, voice lines for the other skins for Yasuo. So I'm really glad we have this, because I can kind of take this as like your base Yasuo skin, and these are like some of the interactions, even though it's not League of Legends, it's the Legends of Runeterra. Because a lot of these are actually repeats from the little 3-minute video we did watch, but it's like interactions and responses from the other characters. So this is very cool. I try to react to any of the Legends Runeterra videos, if there are any, because, you know, not every champion or character is in Legends of Runeterra just yet. So Yasuo, of course, is in the game. So that's really cool. All right, so it looks like all the other interactions and things like that are going to be for the skin specifically. So I know the skin interactions and voice lines are usually kind of specific to like the skin and just kind of like the lore with the skin and things like that. So I don't necessarily want to react to those, because they're not based on like Yasuo's like original lore and like his biography and like his, you know, like the more canon stuff, right? Because all of the skins and stuff are kind of like multiversal kind of things. They're not necessarily canon to his original lore and things like that. So I just want to stick with this video. I think this is honestly all we're going to have for voice lines. I know it's probably a little disappointing, guys. We only had like 12 minutes of voice lines to react to. If there's a video I missed, please just let me know in the comments below, and I will react to it in the future. So I plan on going through a lot of the characters again. For example, Aatrox, I only did his voice lines. We didn't do all of his interactions. Same thing with like Fiddlesticks and Kindred. I didn't fully react to some of those characters, so I will get back to them eventually. But all I could find was this interaction for Legend of Runeterra, which was the most recent thing, in my opinion. This one's only about 10 months old. And then, of course, the voice interactions or the voice lines that we saw was about 9 years ago, the video before this. So that's going to be it for the voice lines. Again, I really enjoy Yasuo's character. I keep comparing him to Genji from Overwatch, because that's who I can compare him the best to. And again, Yasuo, when you think of Yasuo, he's like, I don't know, you guys have to tell me what his, you know, what the consensus is on him now in 2023. Do people hate his character? Do they think he's kind of lame? Because I don't know what the current consensus is. Again, I just think of him as Genji, which is like a popular character from Overwatch, right? And then it's like one of the more known characters, because it's like if I were to ask some random person about League of Legends, Yasuo might be one of the first people to name. Okay. We do plan on doing Yone soon after this video. I do want to do that probably in the next week or so. So we have that to look forward to. And then maybe we'll get into Riven. I don't know. There's this whole Yasuo Riven interaction and like dialogue that I just kind of need to figure out what's going on with Riven altogether, because I know she has some stuff in Freljord that I think she's a part of. And then it says she's in Noxus now, at least according to the fandom. I don't know. So we'll look into that. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are on the Yasuo reaction. I appreciate all the feedback you guys give me, and just all your thoughts on what you think of the character, and just any little hidden details that I may have missed, because you guys have been super great with all that stuff. So please, please, please leave your comments. Even if you think it's something very, very, very minuscule or tiny, leave a comment about it. Might as well. And of course, always leave a like on the video, guys. It helps other people see it in the YouTube algorithm and things like that. Please, please, please appreciate doing that for me. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next reaction. Don't forget to subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.